So today's video is going to be about a repair on a 1971 early Beetle. It's a classic Beetle, and this is the front beam. What we're going to be doing is a small repair on here. It failed the MOT because of this structure. So first thing we're going to be doing is making a panel for that, obviously cleaning it all up, and then making a panel and welding it in. So having found myself a piece of steel, what I've used is that old cutting disc that looks to be about the same curvature as the beam. So I've transferred that onto there, drawn around it, and that's going to be my first cut. So using the snips, what I've done is basically cut that shape out and place it in there for a test fit, and I don't think that's too far off at all. It probably will go into that arch just a little bit too big. As you can see, got some forward and backward movement. So what we're going to need to do now is cut across this section and then trim it to size. So once we trim it to size, we can then clean it up and begin welding. So having taken this corner off, as you can see, we've probably we've got a little bit extra length here, which we're going to fold around. I'm going to use that section over there and weld that into there. Obviously they won't stop, so that's fairly thick. What we're going to do is just trim it around a little bit more, or file it off, profile this so it bends over, same at the other side, and then make sure everything fits in there tightly before we start welding. So we've now cleaned out our section there with our detail sander. Good little tool this, it's a Clark one. You can get other variations. I think I got this from a Machine Mart. You can buy different grades of paper that go on the little sanding area there. You can buy specific ones for metal, which is what I have done. That's a halfway into position. Allow me to clean it up a little bit, and then do a little bit on the loop at the bottom. Would like to have attempted this on the car. That would have been very, very difficult. Right, so we've now got that in place. What we need to do, we need to bend the corners over. now we've bent the corners over. I'm not sure if you can see that with the camera. Yeah, just there. So what we've done is bent that corner over, and what we're going to do is go around the edge of that, and that will give us additional strength. So that's that side done. I'm going to flip the beam over, and then once I flip the beam over, I'm going to weld the other side, and then obviously we clean it all afterwards. So we've got it all welded up, both sides, still a little bit warm, and then we noticed that this has broke off on the bump stop. So as you can see, we've got one here that stops the arm going in one direction, and now we've got this one on the other side. So that looks like it's going to be nut is possibly welded in, bolts snapped off inside, and underneath I can just feel the remnants of the old bolt. So that's what we're going to have to undertake next. Another way I found out that when I put the spanner on this, there we go, that does come off. I think that must be the locking nut. But as you can see, we've still got the thread in there. I think it's going to be out with a penetrating oil. Can't see it very well in there, but the other end's in there. We've got a little bit of bolt protruding through, so we know that it's locked into this area at the back. Got a nut welded in there, I would assume, and then we've got that there. So we've got two options. Either we can put a nut on it, or weld a nut to it in the hope that it will release, or we can grind the top off and re-drill it and re-tap it. I think we'll try the penetrating oil first and see how we go. Right, so we've come back to it after a couple of hours of penetrating oil and no movement. So what I've decided to do is put this nut back on the thread, different one this time, and what I'm going to try to do is to weld the nut to the remnants of what's left inside of the bolt. Obviously, as that gets hot, it should make the bolt that's left in easier to remove, but time will tell. As you can see, it's still quite hot. That should benefit us when we come to take this off. So hopefully the nut will be welded onto the bolt. I'm not sure at this time. So that's not worked. So that's plan A. Unsuccessful attempt to remove the bolt. So now what we're going to have to do is grind that top off, re-drill the bottle and obviously re-tap it. So that's our next step. Right, so that's nice and flat. Just going to punch it, and then once we've punched it we can start drilling it out. So enable us to get the hole to the right side. We started off with a fairly small drill and then moved up to something a couple of millimetre larger. Third step, got this one. This isn't quite big enough, so we moved it to this size, and this is the correct size for the third that we're going to cut into it. So that will go into there and allow us to clearance it through. See? So that is the correct size. It's about 0.5 less than the tap set. So we're going to move on to our tap now and remove the rest of that, so we're going to put it through. The size that we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking out to an M8. So the M8 is used throughout the beetle. So you'll find that to do by a tap set, the M8 is probably the one that you're going to be using the most of. It's going in quite easily. You usually say that just before it snaps. So we'll take it in a bit and then we'll whip back to clearance it. Don't know if I'm just cleaning out the threads for the old nut that's in there. At the moment I've got a ratchet one on, so I could be using the ratchet to do it, but ratchet's okay to bring it out. Taking it back in is easy until you get to that point where it's still cutting. So at the moment it's still cutting it through. Starting our cut. This more. Continue on this until it's all the way through. I feel there's some tension in there, so I think what I might do is change from this ratchet fitting to the T-bar. T-bars give you a little bit more clearance, but the only drawback with the T-bar is that you may not be able to get to swing it. Not on this application, actually. We've got a slight problem in that the handle will keep down. Oh dear. Well, that didn't work. Go back to the ratchet again. If you do struggle with this, you can get some cooking compound. I have got some in the garage somewhere, but my garage isn't the best of places to be finding things. Right, so we've got a little bit more movement on our thread. be almost through. I can see where the thread's been cut. I can see where it's not been cut. I'm going to continue with this a little bit more. I can already feel that it's getting easier. So I think we're already taking it underneath. Managed to cut a new thread into there. Bought any swell. Test the new bolt. Just a little bit of tightness at the bottom. Does seem to work. So we've now got a new thread in. We can put different bolts in this to adjust the steering stop. Keep calling bump stop. That looks like. So we've now painted the repair, as you can see. We will be painting the full beam anyway, probably using Amorite, decent paint. I'm going to try and clean off as much of this rust and loose rust anyway as we can before we reassemble it. So after painting the whole beam, this is where the repair took place, just here. Did find another repair area that we had to plate in. You can just about see the line there. That's the beam repaired. For you.